Highland cows are one of the cutest animals to walk this earth, so I was feeling super lucky when I got an order for a sheet cake that featured this kind of cow. The customer wanted a quarter sheet vanilla cake filled with vanilla buttercream. It's base-iced in a gorgeous sage green, and then I started by making the outline of the cow on top. Then I mixed a bunch of really warm shades of brown because I wanted to make a red Highland cow. That's my personal favorite, and I thought it would best complement the color scheme. For each section, I began by smoothing out a base layer of brown so there weren't any gaps. Then I added various shades of brown to give it a lot of dimension. After that, I grabbed my trusty toothpick and used it to etch in the texture of hair. Right now, I'm creating the horns, which are never fully clean, so I smoothed out white and layered on some other colors to dirty them up a bit. Also, the birthday girl was turning 30 and went on a trip to Scotland to see the Highland cows in person, and I think that would be the best time. It's definitely on my bucket list to go there, and since she's getting the cake after the trip, I really wanted it to live up to her expectations after seeing the cows in person. Her mom ordered the cake and requested it be in a painted style as opposed to an animated or cartoon style, and I really loved this because I felt I could add a lot more texture and details to make it more realistic. The cow itself took a very long time to make and felt extremely repetitive. I was honestly starting to get a little impatient, which is weird for me because that usually doesn't happen, but I clearly underestimated just how many layers of hair these cows actually have. Adding the nostrils and nose was super cute. I think the shading helped make it look like it popped out way more than it did, which to me is really important because I know everything I do is flat, but I don't want it to look flat because that's boring. And I could have stopped now and it would look good, but unfortunately good isn't good enough for me, so I individually piped on all the bangs and fringe with my smallest piping tip. I've never felt more like a hairstylist, making sure everything was really well blended with the perfect mixture of highlights and lowlights. Except there was this one time when I grabbed a pair of scissors and convinced my younger brother to let me cut his hair. Mind you, I'm 4 and he's 2, but my mom caught me before I could finish, so we'll never know what could have been. Anywho, on the side of the cake, I piped on a couple different shades of green grass and roughly smoothed them out with a palette knife. We agreed that flowers would be a really nice addition to the overall design, so I featured some on the side and made more elaborate ones for the top. I was told she prefers softer colors, specifically mauve, sage green, and lighter blues, and her favorite flowers are hydrangeas and peonies. Unfortunately, I didn't have the correct piping tip to create the peonies, but I tried my best with what I had. I put some flowers in the cow's hair, and they were also the perfect way to fill space at the bottom of the cake. The writing is in between the horns and says, "You're moveless, happy 30th." I'm so happy with how this turned out, and right after handing out the cake, the mom drove it to Minnesota for the party. My cakes have now made it to Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, and I recently found out a customer flew with my cake on a plane to South Dakota. Slowly but surely, my cakes are making their way around the Midwest, which is so cool.